Folks, welcome to today's edition of Notre Dame Daily, brought to you by FanArch. It's good to be back with you. I'm Pete Mulroy, and following Saturday's 34-24 victory over the rival USC Trojans, which dumped USC from the top 25, the Irish, now of course on a 5-game win streak, find themselves ranked 12th in the latest AP poll. Despite falling behind 7-0 not 4 minutes into the game, the Irish were able to answer back in a hurry to knot the game at 7 apiece with 10 minutes to go in the opening quarter. And I think that's where many of us probably thought, okay, we've been talking about the idea of a shootout. Maybe we actually are going to get one. Notre Dame go into the break 14-13 with the lead. They come out of that with a nice touchdown grab for Will Pauling, 6 yards out from C.J. Carr, had a 21-13 lead midway through what was an offensively slow start, ironically enough. To the second half of the game, USC would then come back to score the next 11, but as we've seen time and time again, the Irish answered back. Jadarian Price took a 100-yard kickoff return back to the house. Notre Dame re-grabbed the lead there, and then C.J. Carr's 1-yard dive into the end zone midway through the fourth quarter put Notre Dame up 10. It certainly wasn't the perfect performance, there's no doubt there, but given the situation, what Notre Dame knows it needs to do moving forward, no margin for error anymore, as we know, since the opening 2 losses of the season to Miami and Texas A&M, respectively. But they did what they needed to do to take care of business. And when you talk about some of the play offensively, as we know, C.J. Carr, who finished tonight 16 of 26 passing for a $136, a passing and a rushing score, and an interception, he'd absolutely love to have a couple of throws back, especially that pick that he threw when the play broke down. Should have just thrown it away, thrown it out of bounds. And he didn't, and he threw it right into the hands of a USC defender while trying to jam it through traffic. Look, rookie mistake, freshman mistake, they do happen, but in a moment like that, you certainly want to see the young man throw that ball away. That being said, the scoring drives he did lead throughout the game continue to show that he's not only incredibly talented, we know that, but a leader who can drive the team down the field. Defensively, the Irish picked off a really good quarterback in Jaden Mayava twice, and held the Trojans to a whopping 68 yards rushing total, which was an incredibly strong performance considering the fact that USC, as banged up as they were in that backfield, King Miller coming off a 160-yard performance the week before against Michigan, Notre Dame completely shutting them down. So now up to 12 in the poll. The Irish can use the bye week to get resettled, healthier, and work out some of the kinks that popped up Saturday, as they always do, in rainy, chilly South Bend. After that, a date with Boston College is next on the docket. So it's always good to see a team take down a rival, especially with Notre Dame, again, backs against the wall. Know you're needing to win all of your remaining games to hopefully get into the playoff. While the Irish as a team worked incredibly well together to upend their biggest rival in what hopefully was not the final contest between Notre Dame and USC, the main reason for the victory was Notre Dame's run game. And if you didn't know it beforehand, it became clear Saturday that the Irish undoubtedly possess the top backfield in the country, led by a 228-yard performance on the ground by Jeremiah Love, where he found the end zone and also grabbed another 37 yards on 5 catches, plus 87 rush yards on 13 touches, and a score from Jadarian Price, who I also mentioned returned the kick in the third quarter for a touchdown. The 1-2 punch was simply unstoppable once again. Both guys, both Love and Price, ran with incredible elusiveness and physicality for the entire game. And USC's defense simply had no answer for him for his performance. As a matter of fact, Pro Football Focus ranked Love as the highest graded running back for the week, though that shouldn't really come as a surprise to anyone who watched the performance in prime time. Looking ahead, when you talk about this run game and some of the defenses Notre Dame will see, they'll get a BC defense that allows an average of 141 yards on the season, while future opponents Navy gives up 125 and Syracuse 152 have also struggled against the run in spots. Now, later in the month of November, and all 5, by the way, remaining games take place in November. More on that in a minute. Notre Dame's going to travel to face a Pittsburgh team that's currently 4th in the nation against the run, while their final opponent of the season, Stanford, gives up just north of 117 per game on the ground. The point of those stats, the Irish are going to have continued opportunities to impose their will via the ground attack. With a solid offensive line up front and the devastating attack of Love and Price, the monster numbers should continue to come. And while Pitt's defense has been solid and Stanford in spots as well, they certainly have not seen the talent they'll see. Pittsburgh specifically when the Irish come to town next month. And again, that's why using the bye to get right, get healthy, stay on top, keep the goals clear is very important coming down the final stretch of what is always a very difficult and physically taxing season. And for as great as the run game was on Saturday for Notre Dame, the performance defensively was solid basically throughout the night. The opening drive, I know, left a lot to be desired, but the defense made some major plays when they needed to. Picking off Mialba twice and recovering a Makai Levin fumble were massive moments that helped Notre Dame pick up its fifth straight win. Up front, Jason Onye was one of the stars of the night at a time where the Irish needed someone to step up. With Gabe Rubio out, the senior delivered what was his best performance in an Irish uniform, certainly this season as well, at a crucial moment on the calendar. 4 tackles on the night to go along with multiple disruptive moments. Onye was a force. He was all over, up and down that line and causing disruption. And he turned in an effort that PFF graded, if you're into that sort of thing, north of 90, which actually was the 5th highest for an interior defensive lineman for Week 8 of the college football season, which further highlighted Onye's incredible performance. Now, this is a young man who returned to the program ahead of this season after leaving for a period of time for personal reasons, and he was as consistent as they come Saturday night. His play, and we talk about looking ahead now because we could do a lot of that on this current bye week, his play, along with the abilities of guys like Boubacar Traore, KVA, Donovan Heinisch, Rubio, obviously, Bryce Young, and others, it undoubtedly gives Marcus Freeman, Chris Ash, Al Washington incredible confidence across multiple levels of this Irish defense. Drake Bowen you put in there, Jaden Osbury, Jalen Sneed. The talent is just so good. Adon Schuler, obviously you know what you have in Leonard Moore on all 3 levels of the defense. And when you see guys step up in major moments, I mean, every game is important, but that's a rivalry game. There are a lot of emotions involved. The weather was crappy, potentially to the chagrin of many, could be the final time, at least now, that Notre Dame and USC play. And oh, by the way, Notre Dame needs victories after a slow start to the season. You get that type of performance from someone who had high expectations from a talent and leadership perspective coming into the season. And that's the perfect recipe for success right there. Add in all the other talent, and you've got the type of defense that I think most of us expected we would see coming into the year. Play like this up front from Jason can go a long way, because entering the final month of the season, moments like that are huge, and Jason Onye is certainly a massive part of that. That is without a doubt. And you talk about this stretch run. The Irish now find themselves 5-2 on the season with 5 games remaining. Beginning November 1st and ending November 29th, the Gold and Blue play 3 of their final 5 away from Notre Dame Stadium. 1-6 Boston College comes first. Saturday, November 1st in Chestnut Hill, though kickoff time for that one has not yet been announced. From there, you got a date with 6-0 Navy, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, November 8th in South Bend. That game will be followed by a road trip to 5-2 Pitt, November 15th, a home tilt with 3-4 Syracuse the following week, and then you wrap up the season on the road with a trip to rival Stanford, currently 3-4, on November 29th. So the Irish know what's in front of them, and we do too, with these final 5 games. Take care of business, and you'll have a damn good chance to return to the college football playoff. Have a misstep, however, and the CFP dreams are over. You'll go to a nice bowl, but the college football playoff is out. No game is easy, that's for sure. But with the Irish using this bye week to get right and remain focused, I expect they'll be as ready to go as they have been at any point during the regular season. We've seen a lot of growth here, especially after some of the miscommunication and errors that plagued them on the road in Miami and then home week 2 against Texas A&M. And that's great to see. There's a cohesiveness here on all 3 levels of the game: offense, defense, special teams, and that's big. So you talk about the final 5 games, all 5 coming in the month of November. It's going to be fun. I'm sure in spots it'll be aggravating, but the Irish will be favored in all of these games. Now they just need to continue taking care of business. And of course, I'll have you covered every step of the way. With that, that's pretty much a bow on this one today. I'll talk to you all tomorrow, where I want to get into having some potentially more injury updates concerning the likes of Billy Shroud, who got banged up with a knee injury in the USC game, Devontae Smith and Jaden Greathouse, who both were last-minute scratches after spending most of last week questionable leading up to the game. So Smith and Greathouse obviously did not play in the USC game. Shroud going down with injury in it. Hope to have some more updates on those guys and much more, hopefully by tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of yours. And as always, go Irish.